Hey everybody, Tracy Allen, living in my truth on a Testimony Monday. I told y'all it ain't gotta be a Wednesday, it's gonna be any day we want it to be. The more the merrier. And here I have my son from another mother, Mr. Bayard. Mr. Bayard is on the couch with Trev. That's what I'm talking about. See, they popping up already, bro. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all listen to my intro. Living in my truth. Hey. That's what we need to do today. We need to live in our truth. You know what I mean? Let's clean it up. And get God's peace and get that love for God so you can know what love is for yourself. You know? It took me a while, but I got it. How about that? Took me a minute, but I got it. And I'm loving it. And then gonna give it up for nothing today. Hey, y'all. Look. I got my brother Bayard here. He's going to share some good stuff with us. I don't know what, because I don't question it. You know what I mean? Like I tell y'all every week, I don't question it. We just get it in and start busting it up. And he's going to share what he wants to share and what he feels as though he needs to share. And we hope that it can help somebody out here, you know, to do better for themselves or understand that you're not alone, no matter what the circumstances are. Again, I'm asking you guys if you can send stars through this episode, and I would appreciate it. If not, you can send me, if you can, a donation. I'm definitely going to put my Cash App on, you know, for the ones of you who choose to do so. You know, I would appreciate it. Trying to get ready for L&T Awards this year. You know, Living in My Truth Awards this year. It is such a beautiful program, and it's for, you know, all these brave people, just like Bayard, that comes on here and helping people. You know, so I'm gonna continue to do that. You know, have my L&T Awards. You know, because I think it's very much welcome. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that people come in here and they share their strengths and hopes. This takes a lot of strength, self-love, you know, and just respect for other people, you know, in willing and trying to help other people. So tonight with me, I have, like I said, my brother Bayard, and I'm going to give him the lead. Okay, so we just going to bust it up, y'all. So you're welcome to share, ask any questions, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, again, if you can send us stars, that'll be perfect. That'll be beautiful for my content. Or if you can give a donation. Okay, so I'm going to give it to Bayard.
Hello, everyone. My name's Deacon Bayard Williams. Born and raised in the city of Chester. And, you know, I just like to touch on the youth of Chester and where I come from and the standpoint of where I stand at now. I started off, I normally wear this hoodie, is say 96 on there, and a lot of people think that it just represents the year I graduated, but in reality it was the year that everything changed for me, because that was the year that I was incarcerated. Trying to be more than I needed to be, trying to be like people, trying to run the streets and not, you know, stay focused on, you know, the task at hand that I had said that I wanted to do for myself. But I think that the youth nowadays, they are, they just living in they're not living in their truth as everything is said, because they're trying to be like everybody else. And they don't have the strong men in our community that we once had to tell them otherwise. You know, they out here and they just doing whatever they want to do at any time they want to do it. And nobody's pulling them to the side and schooling them. They just jumping out there and they coming out of school shooting guns and stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, because they think that that's what's up. And they don't realize that at some point you're going to have to change. You know, and I did a total of 17 years of penitentiary.
17 years?
17
wow.
years. You know, I thought because it was broken up, so I did 7, then kept going back because I wasn't ready. My mind wasn't ready to be finished with the streets.
Right.
So as I kept going back and forth, I learned a little bit more, and I learned a little bit more, and then when I was done with it, I just said, you know what? I'm done with the streets. I told my dad, I said, I'm done.
Tell them who your dad is.
Oh, for those that don't know, my dad was Reverend Calvin Bayard Williams.
My bestie.
He was advocate for the city.
Yes. Yes.
He stood on what he stood on. If he said he was going to do it, he was going to do it.
Yes, he did.
He showed up for anybody. He never judged anybody, and he had a heck of a testimony.
Absolutely.
That those that know him know.
Yes,
but the main thing that he always showed up for people at any hour of the night.
Even before he became the pastor, what he said he gonna do is what he gonna do. I love that man. He was such a friend to me. He helped me come off the streets, out of the streets. He was a big influencer in my life as well. Somebody that I would listen to was definitely my brother, Bayard.
Yeah, and men like him, would tell me things, and I just wasn't ready to listen. But the way that God works, every time somebody told me something, it would just sit in my spirit, and then when it was time for it to manifest itself, that's when it came forward. Because then that's when I started hearing everything that they was telling me. Oh, you do this, you're going to lead to that. You do this, you're going to be there. All right, you want to listen? All right, at some point in time, you will listen. But hopefully you listen before it's too late. So I'm grateful to say that I caught it before it was too late. It took me a minute, but now I'm a married man, a father of 6, I'm just doing the things that God has allowed me to do. I have a great job, my own business, I'm just out here doing whatever is needed to be done.
That's a blessing. That is a true blessing. Give you some hearts for that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so, people just have to understand that, the part about living in your truth, there was one point in time in my life, and I never was an addict. But as addicts are different, come in many different shapes and forms. It ain't just about being addicted to drugs or alcohol. You can be addicted to money. You can be addicted to relations with multiple women. You can be addicted to a lot of things.
That's right.
But at one point in time, I can say that I was a little caught up out there with drinking. Because I was on parole, and back then, you couldn't smoke no weed or nothing, and that never really was my thing. So I was going in a different bar every night, and what they said, I was a functioning alcoholic.
Functional.
Because I knew that I had to go to work the next day, or I was up to something the next day, so I would go out and I would start drinking at a certain time, and then my friends that I was hanging with, they was drinking and stuff. So we was just handling our business, but at the same time, I knew that it wasn't for me. So if I was to say that I was clean, I've been 15 years clean. I haven't had a drink in 15 years. Let
me get them hearts up, y'all. Send them hearts on here. That's how we show love. Send them hearts. It's a heart party. 15 years clean. That's what I'm talking about. 15 years. Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand that. Going out every night. I can go. We knew what bar was going on left and right. We knew what bar was popping Sunday through Friday, Sunday through Saturday throughout the city, and we didn't care how it was. We didn't care how it was. But because we was always there. We was always in the
looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
It was like clockwise. This is what we doing.
This is what we
do every week. The same people every week, every day, or how often you went in there or whatever. Same seats. Same back channel. Same
time. You knew who was gonna be there. We knew where they were gonna be seated. Like she said,
you knew who was gonna be here, who was gonna be there, who was gonna be here.
Going over Fountainville, going down 3rd, going over to Gorham, going every bar.
And looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. And
it became a part of your daily.
And with pregame.
That's right.
Because people go buy a bottle now, and then they start drinking before they get to the bar.
Nowadays, you ain't even got to drink in the bar. They drinking before they go in the club, in parties, weddings, bars, everything.
Yeah.
You know?
So now you just have
So addiction is strong.
Mm-hmm.
It's so strong without you even, you just don't consider yourself being addicted.
Yeah.
You know, but when that's what you do and that's what you do all the time, what do you call it? Some call it casual, some, like you said, some call it functional. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But this is what you look forward to do.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Mm-hmm. And at every time you do it, it's still the poison. Because you don't take one. You know what I mean? You don't take two. You drink for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Into the next day at times. Some people can't stop it all. Yeah. You know, and that's big for people to understand and people to try to understand. You know what I'm saying, babe? Mm-hmm. That they don't want to say, well, I ain't have no addiction. I ain't this and I ain't that.
Yeah, listen. They don't want to admit to it.
There you go.
You know, some
don't really know it.
Yeah.
To realize
it. Yeah.
This is what living in my truth is all about. Mm-hmm. This couch right here is all about, to just put that word out there. And I'm going to shout it out loud. I'm going to shout it out every time I come on here. Mm-hmm. And being louder is when I bring people like you and other guests on this show to help me help them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. For the ones that want to be helped, because you can't help somebody who don't want to be helped. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That is true.
You have to want it, you know, or that is interested in this type of podcast. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of us don't understand it because it's fun. Mm-hmm. But the fun becomes all the time. And it becomes looking for. Ain't it beautiful though?
I laugh.
Me too. I said, goodness gracious. I lay back and watch how they used to be like, Tracy, you get all loud and all that. And I'll be like, I don't hardly get loud. I ain't doing all that. That's when I was drinking. But when I was smoking, that's a whole nother ball game. You don't even talk. You just do what you do. And then you get crazy after the fact to do some more. But drinking is crazy.
It creeps up on you.
Oh my God, it creeps up on you. And you don't have one. And you don't have two. When you in those clubs, you in those bars, you drinking all night. Yeah. And this is if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, let it fly. Because I know some people be saying, because I only have one drink or two drinks when I go out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if it's not you, please don't take it offensively. You know what I mean? But if it is, think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I just look at it though when I was drinking and stuff that you know, just how I am now, and all my friends, they know I don't drink, but I was like the butt of the joke for, I'm gonna say, a good 5 years, because they would be like, oh, come on, let me get my man a drink, and then they like, oh, he don't drink, give him a double shot of water then. I'm like, I'm cool with that. Listen, because I know who I am.
Right.
So you can't hurt me when I know who I am. I know that I am perfectly made within God.
Go ahead.
So therefore, nobody can hurt me.
Go ahead.
You can't touch what God has made me out there.
Go ahead.
Because I know my story. That's
hard for some people to see too. Yeah. They cannot see your change.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can smile and laugh and be all in your face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they'll turn their back and talk about what you was. You will always be. Well, guess what? We know that, but we made change in our lives. Yeah. You know, we turned our lives over to the will of God. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? And that's big. You know what I mean? That's why we in the peace. Mm-hmm. You follow? That's why you became the husband. That's why you kept a job. Mm-hmm. That's why you came out the streets. Yeah. You know what I mean? You surrendered to all of that. Mm-hmm. You know? But some people will be like that, you know? Yeah, well, I remember when he was doing this. Well, me too. He remember too.
I know nobody remember like I remember.
Don't nobody remember like you, right? He remember too. Let him tell the story. That's what you're here for.
That's one thing people love to do. And like my wife didn't know me as Little Bayon. So then those that knew me growing up as Little Bayon
was telling her about Little Bayon.
They loved to tell her, he was a bad, he was cutting up and he was that and third. And she was like, well, he's not like that now.
That's right.
You know, he's a God-fearing man. He's a husband. He goes to work. He runs a business. Several businesses to be exact. So therefore, he is a completely different person. But thanks for sharing that.
That's right. Change is beautiful.
You can't come You can't come to my wife and just tell her anything about me.
That's right.
Because I don't have no problem. Open book, whatever she want to know, she can get it. I ain't got no problem telling her.
That's the same with my husband. He knows. He knows what I'm doing on here. Mm-hmm. He knows what I say. He knows what I've been doing from the day me and him got together. Mm-hmm. Truly as a drug and alcohol counselor, because that's what he ever knew about me being. You know what I mean? But when I told him my story, you know what I mean? So nobody else could tell you my story. You already know.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, he don't listen to that stuff no way. Yeah. You know what I mean? He love me for who I am.
And as he should.
You know what I mean? And everything about what I done, how I done it, and when I did it, I don't do it today.
Exactly.
You follow?
Exactly.
I don't do it today. And I look at him the same way for his past. You know what I mean? We know what's up.
Yeah.
You
everybody got a past.
Yeah, everybody got a past.
You know, it's just people out here that wants to keep trying to judge you off your past. But I don't live at that address no more.
Go ahead.
You know, I have a new address, and I'm working to bigger and better things.
Go ahead.
By the grace of God, because that's the only that's the only thing that got me to this point in my life.
There you go.
You know, because I was counted out.
Hey.
Many years.
Hey.
Starting probably at the age of 9.
Never live. Say, that boy ain't gonna live. Hey. I remember the times.
Age of 9, they started counting me out.
Yeah.
And look at me, I'm 46, ready to be 47 next month.
Living
God will.
For God.
You know, so therefore, when somebody got something negative to say about me, I just tell them, listen, check with God first. You know, because he already ordered my steps. You better figure out yours.
And you walking.
Oh,
you walking the walk.
Listen.
I am proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of your change in life.
Thank you.
You know, I just look at you like I look at your dad, to be honest, because it's like almost the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he came through. You know, God grabbed him and all of what he used to do, and everybody and all of us know you don't mess with Bear. Bear was crazy. You follow what I'm saying? But then he ended up being the most beautiful God-serving man that you can ever meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I loved him. He always took care of me from the beginning when I was little. You know what I mean? Always took up for me and everything. And when I was out there in them streets, he ain't play that.
Yeah.
Your dad snatched me up several times.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? And I knew that was all out of love. And I ain't try to get smart or fight him or nothing because I already knew the real deal, yes. You know? And he told druggers don't sell me nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I shared this before here. I had a few people who was, you know, the dealers and all, and they told their, where they was, territories not to sell me nothing, you know, and that was all out of love though, because we all still tight to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I got clean, I thanked them. Yeah.
Because they always seen something in you.
I thanked them.
You know, they always loved you. They knew that wasn't for you.
My killer said, yes, speak, Bayat. You're truly blessed.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to recognize some of the people. Aisha Staples said, you got me in trouble just to get me out. Mary, hey, Mayor. Elijah Dink Walker. 47. He says, Tom, get your AARP card.
Hey, man, sign me up. I'm cool with it.
Arnold Montgomery. Ish. What's up, Ish? Tracy Rowley. Hey, Tracy. Phyllis Betham. I'm just shouting some of you guys out. You know, Debbie Dennis. Gilda. Hey, Gil. Jamila Bilal. Trees Todd. Hey, Trees. Yeah, I just want to shout some of them out because when we get to my, hey, Dar, and Sophia, Dr. Tracy, you know, these are a lot of people who make change in their lives too, you know, in any way that they seem fit to make change. You know, change is constant, y'all, and there's nothing constant but change. And a lot of us had to come out of that dark world that we were in. I know I sure enough did. You know what I mean? Because it was. Who's that? Ish. Hey, Miss Tracy and Bayat. Hey, baby. Yeah, it was rough. It was fun though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was fun. And I think that the way that they made our black neighborhoods, you know what I mean, and put these things in our neighborhoods for us was to keep us messed up. You know what I mean? And not to live on life terms or believe that we have a God. You know what I mean? Or this was all just the way it was supposed to be. You know, and caught up. I guess I could say just caught up. We was all caught up. You know what I mean? In things that was so important, but not important because we didn't know the danger that we were going through.
Yeah.
You make that make sense?
Yeah, and I understand.
Yeah, because I look at how they put the guns. I look how you could just get guns. They making guns. They doing all kinds of stuff, and it's all where we are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta help our children. We gotta help the ones that are still out there who wants to make change. You know, because I know my son wanted to make change. You know, but society wouldn't allow that because of the rules of society. You know what I mean? And I keep that in my heart with my son. You know, because he was coming out of that. You know what I mean? And was doing better for himself. But the rules, you know how they planned it for us to take each other out and to kill each other and to be all into this gang stuff and all this craziness, you know, out here in our neighborhood, you know, and Chester had it, we had it bad, you know what I mean, as we still do, you know, because now it's the children, our children of the children.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they thinking drinking is okay and drugging is okay and pills is okay. Y'all, we got to put that word out more that it is not. We have to start saving our children. And this is one of the reasons why I asked Bayat to come on here, because I know Bayat been places and been there and done things. And now he is showing straight up that God is good and God is alive. You know what I mean? And he changed himself first and then changed his thinking. Listen to him when he talks. You know what I mean? That ain't the stuff that he used to say back in the day when he was little. It's just so awesome to be around him. I'm telling you, I am at so peace when I'm around baby. I feel safe. You know what I'm saying? He like my son anyway. Y'all know. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying I feel safe and it's comfortable. You know what I mean? And it's never no out-of-pocket talking or no out-of-pocket thing. It's always about making money, doing what you got to do, and praising God. You know what I mean? And that is just what God do.
That's what he do.
That's what he do. And you are living proof.
You got to change at some point in time. And it's nothing wrong with change. At one point in time, I think I was a little hesitant on change. But then when I started recognizing that everybody is not for me, it makes it so much easier to change. Because I know what I want. So long as I put in perspective as to what I want, and then I align that with what God has in store for me, it works out perfectly. And then to get married, like I didn't think I was going to get married. I thought about it, but I got a great, awesome wife.
You got
I don't play about mine.
That's right.
You know, any woman that's in my presence, I don't play about. Because that's how I was raised. I was raised by men. And we don't play about women that we're protectors. We don't play about them. You can't just be around me and disrespect no woman. My sisters call me to this day, I'm coming, I'm pulling up.
I know that's right.
Because this is how I was raised. A lot of these guys now, everybody now want to pull out their phone and record something to get that next click. I ain't about that click. I'm about making sure that this woman gets home safe.
All right.
That's what it's about for me. Like I don't play. That's what I stay in the house. I don't come out. If we going out, let's go somewhere farther out, or get on a plane, or get on a boat or something and go somewhere. Because it's not expensive to go do stuff and enjoy life. You know, a lot of people in Chester ain't been places. The only place they started going was when COVID money came out. All them young guys started getting out there and traveling, and I was happy for them because that opened their eyes up to say, I want to see something else.
This, yes.
You know,
yes.
And that's just might been local stuff that some of them never even been to Philly.
Some never been out of the city.
You know, so I just look at the world now in a different perspective through a different lens. You know, I'm just trying to, start new businesses, make sure that my kids good, my grandkids good. Like that's what I'm working. I'm a grandfather now. I got a grandson.
That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, life is good.
Can y'all hear this? All of us in our age, you talking about grandfather. They all grandfathers and stuff there. My son's too. You know, Tree said change can be scary because It is the unknown.
It is.
And that's true.
I agree. But at some point in time, you have to face it. Because that's like when the first time you start walking, you don't know if your leg is going to hold
that's
up.
Right.
But
that's
you keep pressing, you keep taking them steps. And then when you're old enough and you know God, man, that change come easy. Because it's going to come one way or the other.
The whole walk start changing. The whole walk becomes different.
Yeah, you got to crawl, walk, and run.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is such a fact. So Sophia said, amen, baby. You remember Sophia from the project?
Okay.
From the Bennett?
All right, how you doing? Mm-hmm. You know, but you definitely, I mean, when change come, it's either going to come in two ways. It's going to be good change or bad change. Ain't no in between. You can't play hot or cold.
That's right.
So I'm all for the good change. I look at my life and what I once messed up, I tried to make right.
Go ahead.
So it's like I look at my father's life when he once was out here tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at him. Then he was out here trying to make right, and he was, doing his walk and walking his life. So now when I look at my life, me and my dad not too far off.
Yes.
My life, I had to go through my steps and my growth pains, and I'm grateful for all my steps.
That's right.
Because like I said, without God, I wouldn't be here. So
go ahead.
To any young man that wants to change, I'm available for a call, to pull up, to talk to you.
Hallelujah.
Because you gotta change at some point in time. That jail stuff, that street stuff, that get old.
Mm-hmm.
That thinking I'm gonna run to the bars and chill every night.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see some people that they've been in the bars their whole life.
Their whole life.
Like what are you getting out of it?
Their whole life.
The bars done became so much of a person's life that like that's really a fixed bill.
Mm-hmm. And you know what they say? They say, I shoot, it don't hurt me. I work every day. I pay all my bills, but you're drinking poison every single day.
Every day.
Every day. It
slows
is
you
not
down.
healthy.
That's what you're thinking.
It is not good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a silent killer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a killer that makes you believe that it's okay.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
I'm only sharing because I love y'all. That's why I share this. And the money that we put in them. You think them $3 and $5 and $10 and $15 and $12 don't add up. But if you can add that thing up for a year, you start crying.
Listen.
You start crying. I look at that too, like when you get your nails and your toes and your fingers and all that stuff, then I stopped.
Listen, I see it. I know it. I actually sat back one day and like really counted. I'm like, hey, one day I went into the bar down 3rd Street and I had a bunch of money on me. I woke up the next day, looked at my money. I said, hold up. I thought I got robbed because I got in there and I was happy. When I used to drink, I was happy.
You was buying drinks.
So I'm like, give me y'all one. Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Give me you one. It's cool with me. You good? Go ahead. Half of mine even know. I woke up, I got like 300 in my pocket. When I went to the bar, I had like 17. But that's how it works, though.
Because you know why? Because when you start getting intoxicated, just going through like that, you don't think about all of that.
Yeah.
You just keep getting intoxicated. And every time somebody else come in the bar, you do it again.
Listen,
give them a drink.
Give them one.
Give them a drink. I'm not talking about the money you spend on your own, but I'm talking about the money that you spend on everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All the fake
Let's
friends.
get shots. I see them now. They just, oh my God. It really hurts my heart because I know now what I not knew then. When I see people, because I'm in the business of decorating and doing parties, weddings, and all that. Like, let's take shots. I mean, they be taking shots like 100 shots. It's like, wow, straight. Now you're drinking the stuff straight. You're not even diluting it. You know what I mean? You're not even diluting it. It's bad. It's bad. It's terrible. It's terrible. But mentally, it's like, it's okay. Like, mentally you think, because of what that poison does to the brain. You follow what I'm saying? that it's okay, that you got everything okay. You know, everything is going perfect. Everything is doing fine. You don't even hear how loud you are, because if you notice when you walk in a bar or into parties and stuff like that, how loud it is. Yeah. Especially when they lit, they just get louder and louder and louder, and it really ain't even no need for shouting.
I'm loud.
But I call it disease. But it's disease that has taken over. You know what I'm saying? For me, I call it disease. You know, for people, they call it just drinking. You follow what I'm saying? That don't have the education and the information on what disease is and how it works. You know, but for me, that's the sickness, man. That's the sickness of the subconscious mind called disease that's telling you that everything is okay. You know what I mean? You are right. You know what I mean? The money don't mean nothing. You ain't saving nothing because it wants you to feed it. It wants you to continue to feed it, you know? And I know a lot of you got to agree with that. You know, when you go into the bars and you that girl or you that guy, you know what I mean? And you go in there and just flashing your money. Give all of them a drink. Give everybody from there to here a drink. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Spend the easy $300, right? Some walking in the bar.
Yeah. Tracy, Dr. Tracy said, they think because it makes them feel good mentally, but in reality, it is hurting them physically, heart disease and psoriasis. Absolutely. And that's just what I'm just saying. Absolutely. You know, kidney disease and more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Constantly, always getting it. And then you won't realize that you need it. You know what I mean? This is when you become the alcoholics, functionally. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, disease will take any time for you to drink. You know what I mean? Well, I only drink on the weekends. Okay, well, I'm going to kill you every weekend.
Every weekend.
You follow what I'm saying? I take the weekend, I'm going to get you every weekend. Yeah. You know? And you set yourself up for it.
Yeah.
You know, you set yourself up. This is what I learned from drinking. You know, being out there and being in the streets and being in the bars. You know what I mean? A whole lot of waste time, for real. But at the time, it was good time.
Oh, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, at the time, I enjoyed every bit of it.
Listen, one thing for certain, no matter what I did in my life, I always had fun. You know, right or wrong, it was fun. If people sit up there and say that they was drinking and they wasn't having fun, I believe he was lying to yourself. Because I was having fun. I mean, don't get it wrong, there's some depressed drinkers out there. But for the most part, like you going to parties and stuff, you having fun. You turn around and you're toasting to this and cheers to that. So I was happy. I know I was having fun.
Yeah, Mary said, I don't know how many times I could have crashed and been locked up or sleep with a stranger.
Yeah.
Girl, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. You get so lit, everybody start looking like Denzel Dan Washington. You what? Everybody start looking good. Sounding good, and you, especially if you ain't with nobody, your plan is to find somebody any damn way. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? That thing cost a lot of damage. It cost a lot of damage that you just thought was right because you're not in your sane mind and you are dealing with a alcohol that basically, that I can say purely, that's just diseased and it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. You know what I mean? I enjoy being straight-headed. I enjoy not to depend on having to be out there, you know, like that, you know, all the time, you know, every day, every other day. I couldn't wait for Friday to come for happy hour. Shoot, happy hour was worse. You know what I mean? Yeah, happy hour. It's called happy hour. Lisa Nichols says, hey, bro. She said, hey, bro, on Bible study, but jumped on to tell you how godly proud I am of you and the man he has fashioned you to be.
Amen.
Amen. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah. So, I mean, I like all the comments you guys are bringing in on here, too. I like that a lot more. I told y'all when we first started, I couldn't catch a lot of them. I'm getting better in time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just let God do what he do with me to help me to deal with this. Yeah, Trees, Denzel's. You know how when you're drunk, everybody look good. After a while, so there ain't nobody in there.
And you wake up in the morning.
What? And you'll wake up in the morning just with that person. You know what I mean? Hey, sis. D and Roslyn. Yeah, you wake right up with that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell you, that alcohol was vicious. You know, and for it to be soul like the way that it is. Look, this is their plan. Their plan is for all of us to be this way anyway. Hey, Nye, for all of us to be this way anyway. You know what I mean? Thinking that drinking calms you. Thinking that drinking is the thing that you're going to be all right with, or the drugs or the pills or whatever that you've been dealing with. You know what I mean?
Get you through your problems. Problems still going to be right there.
And you're going to wake right back up with the what? Same problem.
Yes.
Same situation. You know what I mean? The same situation, especially when you look at each day the same way.
Listen, I learned to take all my problems to God.
That's right.
You
got to get that higher power. You got to find them that you can talk to them and come to believe in them. You know, God is the power. You know what I mean? The glory. You know, all the above. You know, and I know that today. You know, and because people didn't see me this way or hear me speak this way or act the way that I act today, you know what I mean? Look at me sometimes like, wow, she changed. Oh, believe me, for the best. You know?
But they always got to remember, if I can change, you can change.
That's right. And that's what you want to be. You want to be inspirational to the next person. You know what I mean? You want to give out and talking to God, allow me to walk this walk. You know what I mean? That's why I love it so much. That's why I love doing it. And I'm okay with talking about me. I'm okay with talking about my past. You know what I mean? Because my past is helping somebody else, you know, to know that today it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? That my disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. Cunning, baffling, and powerful. And it taught me how it works through people, places, and things. So now I not only learned how to put drugs down and to understand alcohol and drugs, I learned how to understand people better.
Oh, yeah.
And places better.
Yeah.
And doing things better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. It's a lot to it. It's just not stop drinking or stop drugging. You have to change your thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to have God first before all. So this is why first step is unmanageable. You know what I mean? And second step is turning my life over to the will and care of God. You follow what I'm saying? You know, I love them 12 steps, y'all. I tell you, I love them. Even if you don't have a drinking or drug and addiction, they still work for something or whatever you're dealing with. That's addictive in your lifestyle. You know, I'll recommend them to anybody, you know, because it's sure enough turned me around, and it's turning a whole lot of us around and helping us to find that religion that we turned our backs on. You know what I mean? And for the ones that, you know, go to church and can't wait to get down to the bar, you know, or to go out and drink. You know, these are some things that, you know, we need to recognize, you know, that they're not a good mix.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's really not a good mix. You know, but to each his own.
You know, but that's for God to put them into the right space. You know, like whatever brings you into God's house at some point in time is going to turn out for His will.
That's
so
right.
As long as you keep coming, I don't care if you came in there because a friend invited you. You came in there because you was hungry, you was homeless, whatever it was that brought you into the house of God. At some point in time, I believe that you will change and you will get to understand and know God for yourself. Because, like, I mean, it was times where I didn't think that I was going to ever go back into the church. Like, I'm like, what I need to go there for? Like, I know God. It's like most people now. They don't go to church no more.
I haven't gone to church. I go every so often, you know, if something is going on, you know what I mean? But that don't mean that I'm not.
Yeah, that don't mean that you don't know God. You know God personally.
Yeah.
You know, because
absolutely, I know Him personally.
Because ultimately, I always think back to the beginning of time. It was about praise and worship.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all that you really need to have is praise and worship. Of you giving God the praise and worship every day. I don't need somebody to tell me this. I can read it for myself and understand it for myself because I asked God for understanding and clarity.
Go ahead.
So then once I got that, I can use that within my life. I don't always have to go to church, but I love going to church.
Okay.
Because I want to go. I don't go because somebody's making me go. I'm not a child. Where you was a child, you know, you done things as a child, but as you became a man, you put away childish things.
And I feel like once you got that conscious contact with God, between you and Him, Ain't nobody else can come in between.
Can't nobody stop.
You know, can't nobody stop that.
Whatever God has for you is going to manifest itself. You know, can't nobody stop you from doing anything that God has for you.
That's right.
You know, when I was out there in the world doing anything and everything, you know, God already had a promise on my life.
He already knew what he was going to do.
Listen, when we was in our mother's womb,
yeah,
you know,
he already knew.
And now look at us now. You know, we here and you know, and we're making moves in inside and outside of Chester. You know.
Tell them to get my cups.
So make sure y'all buy a cup from Miss Tracy, living in her truth. Because you
T-shirts,
have a truth that you need to live in.
Sweatshirts, yeah.
Yeah, you have a truth that you might need to live in. You know, so at some point in time, the main thing is just to give it to God.
That's right.
And allow him to order your steps.
That is number one.
You know, one of my favorite songs is He's Preparing Me. Because I don't know what the future holds.
Hey, Jamar.
You know, the only one that knows what the future holds is the only one that's been there. And that's there. And that's God.
That's right.
So that's why I just keep myself.
And covered you the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And covered you the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I turned my back totally on him. I just didn't believe in him no more.
And he was there.
And he was there.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Yeah.
He was there.
I remember growing up, and I remember being shot at. I remember shooting at people. I remember these parts of my life. And God was covering me. He set me down for a reason because he wanted me to be who I am today.
Yes.
He wanted me to grow into the man I am today. But if you don't see it, then you're going to keep going through it. You're going to keep going through it. But at some point in time, that change is going to happen. You know, as long as you live on this earth, you're going to see a change within yourself. You know, we ain't walking as strong as we used to.
It sure ain't.
You know, I just the other day on Valentine's Day, me, my wife, and girl, on 3 of the girls went out to the park, and I tore my hamstring. I'm trying to be all with the kids, you know, thinking I'm young. Oh yeah, it's something you do it, Dad. I go get on the little swing, the obstacle course, go to swing back and forth. All I heard was a pop. I'm like, oh, God, what the heck done happened now? But then I realized I'm not young as I used to be. But I finished it, though. I finished it. I didn't finish it standing up. I slid from one spot to the next because my pride, sometimes I deal with that pride. My pride was going to say, nah, I'm not going to let these girls laugh at me today. But after I did that, I went and sat down. You know?
Hey, look, that was the same thing I did. I'm going up the steps. I'm coming up and down. I got 8 steps, right? You know I got 8 steps. So I said, you know what? I'm not going back down these steps. I'm going to get all of this. This is not a lot of stuff for me to get. And this is what wasn't a lot of stuff. My plate, my book, my telephone, my cup of juice, and the paint. The paintbrush was under here. All the brushes was under here. All the other stuff was in his hand. And then I said, the paint is on the steps. I put stuff on the steps. They got to come upstairs. Then I said, I'm not going back down these steps. Let me get this. I put the whole gallon of paint. Listen, Lamar. I put the whole gallon of paint on this finger. I said, I can make it up these steps because it was only 6 steps down. You know what I mean? Then I slid this one underneath there. I got to that 8th step.
This was too much.
And I saw the juice getting ready to fall. So my body tried to save the juice. Then the fingers went with the paint in it, right? Then I'm like, oh my God, the paint. Then I saw myself going down, y'all. That was the funniest thing. And I don't know how I slid in that hallway. That hallway ain't even long as my body. But I slid, right? I guess it was because of the rug that was on the floor, and I saw my finger get ready to hit the corner. And it did, but I tried to save myself from, they say when you try to save yourself from falling, it makes the fall worse. Well, guess what? I took it, I couldn't move. I had to, and food splattered everywhere, juice everywhere. I couldn't move, you know? But I knew I shouldn't have done what I did. You know what I mean? And me, I blame everything on my sickness. I'm like, see, that's what I get for listening to my damn sickness. You know what I mean? Making me think that I could do this because, see, it hates when I do this. You know what I mean? This was right after I did. True.
You know?
I said it hates when I start tagging people. It hates when I start loving on people. You know what I mean? And he just came through and said, yeah, I want you to know that I'm still there. That's how I look at stuff like that. So the next time, it won't be a next time. You know what I mean? I'm going to think wiser.
Yeah, move slow.
And move slow. Because guess what? I'm 65 years old, getting ready to hit 66, and things ain't working like they used to. So I feel you when you said that.
I told my wife after I popped my hamstring, I told my wife, I said, I got one more shot at me to be young again. She's like, what you talking about? I said, for my grandson. It's gonna be a time they're gonna call me Pop, I need you to do this. And I'm gonna get out there, and that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna be back to acting like I'm a kid again. I got one of me. The girls got theirs. So now, when my grandson called me at one point in time, that's what I'm on.
Yeah, dear.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's where my life is taking me at. It's been a beautiful journey, and I look forward to just more to come. Because like it's just endless. Especially when you put God before you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like it's endless. Like the possibility is endless. I never thought that I would be working at Delcor. I never thought that I have a moving and clean out company. I never thought I'd be renting this out, selling shit. I stay on the move and on the grind because I come from an era where, we had to do multiple things.
That's right.
I'm a first-time home buyer. First and only time being married, because I ain't doing this again. My wife said you ain't going nowhere unless the Lord call you home.
Go ahead.
And I feel the same way.
You go ahead. That's
right. We ain't going nowhere, so therefore, this is a beautiful journey that we're on. Absolutely. And I just look forward to the next steps and next phases of life.
There you go.
God is good.
It's beautiful, changing over and doing the right thing and getting God first. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And I know there's a lot of people out there that's been this way that tried to tell me the same thing, but it just wasn't my time to listen to. You know what I mean? It just wasn't my time. Well, it's my time today. So now I'm trying to share it, with others. You know what I'm saying? And let's just clean it up. You know what I mean? We got to clean up. Because this world is crazy today. We got to clean it up. We do. We got to clean it up. You know what I mean? And God knows. He knows He got all of us on a mission in one way or another. You know what I mean? In one way or another. And we got to learn to praise Him. I was in a situation the other day when, I was being told some things about myself. Some things I may not have remembered some of them. You know what I mean? But I do remember a lot of them. And I know that I made amends for my wrongdoings. You know what I mean? And if there's any that I don't remember, God will bring it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to make amends again. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm cleaning it up. You follow? I'm cleaning it up.
And some things that you don't remember, this God's way of
life. Hey, look. I say live and let God. You know what I mean? I say live and let God. And if I ever done anything to anybody today, I truly, from my heart, it's apologizing, because I've done some things. I've done things to my children. I've done things to my family. You know what I mean? I've done things to people in the streets, the whole 9 yards. Well, that girl, who I call Trey, is in remission. You know what I mean? Tracy is now here. You know what I mean? Who is cleansing herself and cleaning out her heart. You know what I mean? With all the negativity. You know what I mean? And all the shiesty, crazy stuff I was doing. You know what I mean? And I thank my behaviors of before who I became today, because I probably wouldn't even be who I am. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I know God had me.
The main thing
you know what I mean? I understand that clearly.
The main thing is forgiving yourself.
Oh, and once you forgive yourself, you gotta live and let God.
Yes, because if you don't forgive yourself, then you're gonna hold on to all the pain and suffering in your life. You have to let that go. I don't care what you're going through. At the end of the day, once you give it to God, you have to let it go.
You gotta let it go.
You can't.
You gotta let it go.
The purpose of praying to God is to seek help for something that you're going through. So once you seek that help, like I leave it there. When I go into my prayer room and I pray to God, when I walk out of there, I don't carry that baggage no more.
That's right.
I let it go because at the end of the day, it's not meant for me to carry it. He blocks things for a reason.
But sometimes people have a way of bringing it back to you.
Oh yeah, they
know what
want
I'm saying? Bringing
But
it
like
back
I said in the beginning, I don't live there no more.
Yeah, that's why it don't faze me. It don't bother me.
You don't live in Holy City no more? I don't live down
Some
there
people
either.
don't understand it. You know what I mean?
You don't live down there
You know?
no more? I don't live at the Bennett no more.
My change is not for you. It's for me.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are.
No matter
You know
who
what
you
I
are.
mean? My change was for me because God said now it's time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I listened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him clearly.
Yeah.
You follow? And now I could see, feel, and cherish that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I have a God who comes first in my life, who's stronger, bigger, better than anything, including myself.
Listen.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I'm not
go
gonna let
on.
nobody
No, none.
come knocking on this door. Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Not today. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to stay strong, God's blessing, you know, and I'm not going to rush myself into tomorrow. I deal with days by days, you know, because this is what my 12 steps, you know, I'm a true believer, you know, big believer, you know, I'm going to die with that. You know, my 12 steps are Narcotics Anonymous.
Why borrow pain from tomorrow for today?
That's right. What happened yesterday is history now.
Yeah, I'm trying to live. Let me live right now. And I don't want that pain tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's pain gonna be like.
Yesterday pain can't hurt me anymore.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sticks and stones, you can throw bones all you want. You know what I mean?
Yesterday pain was to teach you how to heal.
That's right.
You know.
And it keeps me stronger today.
Exactly.
You know, you got to reverse it. It keeps me stronger today. You know what I mean? Having the wisdom to know the difference is the most beautiful thing in the world. You follow what I'm saying?
That's why it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Exactly.
You know, so that way you have to go through the process. You can't get wisdom first. You have to gain knowledge, and then you have to get understanding of what you just went through, and then the wisdom come not to do it again.
That's right.
So that at some point in time, when that change come, when God put that change on your life, you just have to accept it.
That's right.
You know, because I know a lot of people looked at me and they're like, "What? You go to church? You trusted in God?"
Yeah, me too. When they say, "But," I don't remember that with her.
Twist their face up
like
it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Like it's a bad thing. You are so right. Like it's a bad thing.
Listen,
Yep.
Judge yourself before you judge the next person.
Go ahead, bring it.
Because I mean,
Go ahead.
nobody can judge you harder than you judge yourself.
They say self-love will heal you, motivate you, empower you, and restore you. You follow?
Yeah.
Again, it will heal you, it will motivate you, empower you, and restore you.
Yeah.
That's what that God do. Who that, Mary, what you say? You said 12 steps work. When you work it, you better know it. You better know it because it does for me. And what works for me may not work for the next person. But I'm going to share it, and I'm going to share it out loud. You know, because I know it's going to work for somebody. Trust me. And we're going to share out loud with this thing and continue on sharing out loud about change and finding God in our lives, you know, so we can live a good life, you know, and find peace within yourself. That's beautiful, though. The peace that I have in myself, and I know it's much more to come, baby. I know it's much more to come. But I'm happy now. You know what I'm saying?
I sleep good at night.
Woo!
Listen,
yeah, I'm happy now.
Listen, I don't need nothing to go to sleep. I sit down, I'm comfortable, I'm out. You know, my wife like, "Dad, we was just talking." I said, "Listen, I'm comfortable. I'm home. I ain't got to worry about nobody kicking in my door. I don't owe nobody nothing. If I owe you something, come get it. I might get $1 or $2. But I don't think I owe nobody nothing as far as my recollection go."
I know that's right.
You know, some people might have a different thought. They might say back in 91, they gave me $10. I don't remember, but you know, I said thank you. You know, but at the end of the day, when that change comes into your life, you have to accept it.
That's
right.
You
know, and just keep on pressing forward because we got enough problems out here to tear each other down.
That's right.
You know, don't tear yourself down. You know, whenever you're going through something, just go to God with it.
That's how I feel about, you know, when you see people out in the street that's laughing at people, the junkies. Yeah. You know what I mean? The winos. You know, it's not funny.
It ain't.
I gotta say that every time I come on. It's not funny. You know? It's not a movie.
These new ones, they're worse than that. They're worse than the ones they laughing
It's
at.
real people.
The pill poppers, they worse than the ones that they laughing at.
Yeah, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, they're human beings, and they are still alive inside that addiction that they had. Definitely still there.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like I was telling Fred, you know, we gotta try to do something more to help them. You know what I mean? People like Rashida, Reverend Rashida, Patrice Todd. You know what I mean? What's her name? Tamika Williams.
From where?
From Chester.
Yeah. Councilwoman Tamika.
Councilwoman Tamika. They all out there. You guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome because they look and help these people. Yes. And I was watching Rashida one week, and she just popped on when we had that real cold day, and the sincerity was in her face. You know what I mean? I felt her. I was at work, and I felt her. You know what I mean? She said, look, y'all, it's really cold out there. We got to help this homeless, you know, the suffering that's still out there. And she said, I'm going to call up a team, you know, call up some people from her congregation. And she said, give me an hour, and I'm going to have hot food for them, blankets and clothes. That thing touched my heart. You know what I mean? I had to call her. You know what I mean?
She's a mover.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Councilwoman Tamika.
She's
food
a mover.
every week, every day almost. Food out there for you. You know what I mean? She's always looking out.
Some people don't just talk. They
do
about
it.
action.
They do
you
it.
Know, and that's what
you
the
know
city
what I mean?
needs is action.
Elder Patrice, she goes out there and she pray on them. You know, pray over them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's love, man. That's love, and that's God's love, you know. And I really, really, really are grateful that y'all do that. I really am. You know, that your hearts are so blessed with blessing people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not big on words, you know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying. You know, you all get what I'm saying. But I think people like that should be honored. I really do. You know, and for the work that they do. And I might be missing some people, but that's to all of who cares and share and go out and, you know what I mean, try to help these people. I think all of us need to get together, the pastors, everybody that can do something for them. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's where my heart is at. You know, these people are out there with nothing. These people are out there just doing what this sickness, you know, tell them to do. You know, they don't know. You know what I mean? And they're suffering with pain. You know, so we can't give up on them. We have to keep on helping them. You know, I don't care if we fed these people or helped these people 100 times. Everybody have their timing. Everybody has their perfect timing. Everybody does, because that's what God do. You know what I mean? And change is possible for everybody. For any person that's out there doing whatever they're doing, change is possible. You know, and I just wanted to give that shout out to them as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that just touched my heart. You know, that it was somebody that was actually caring. You know?
I mean, Chester has a lot of people. They have a lot of soldiers that's out here, you know, making moves. You know, I just think a lot of the youth are not gravitating to them because they see it a different way. You know, and
that's why we got to keep talking about it.
That's why we got to keep
action and talking out loud. Exactly.
Because like I remember a few years back when they did a march through the city, and then like that was it. Like these kids, they see it. Most of them growing up without a father, so you talking about all right, come on, take your picture now, and then we're not going to see you again for the next 6 years or so. So why would they want to change if we not changing as far as our actions go? You know, you can't just tell me you're going to show up today and then I don't see you no more.
I don't see you no more. Yeah, like was that a fraud? Was that a fake?
Oh, come see me. I can help you get this. Then when they show up at your door, you can't help them with nothing.
You can't help them with nothing.
Listen, it ain't, that's one thing that I love about my dad's walk is because he was always there. He showed up. And then when I see the young kids still talk about
to my brother, yeah.
The young kids still talk about him to this day. His
To
dad
this day.
was brilliant.
That's right.
Like he always, no matter what I need, he showed up. And that's what it's about, showing up.
That's right.
It ain't just telling them I'm gonna be there. I'm going to show up and really be there.
It's about consistency. Yeah, exactly. It's about consistency.
And went through any part of the city. I'm glad to say I can go in any part of the city myself.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody can't do it. I mean, it is no. I'm not beefing with nobody.
Ain't that something?
You know, like I said, I sleep good at night.
Yeah.
So you know, that's wrestling. You got to fix that. You know, that means something ain't right with your spirit right now. You got to get right with it. Got to get right with God.
Niche Evans said he's a legend.
Oh, without question.
Without question.
That's why you know they named that good street actor. You know, Reverend Calvin Bayard Williams Way.
That's right.
You know, 8th and Sproul.
That's right.
You know?
He deserved every bit of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
He deserved every bit of it, because I know one thing for sure. For me, he was always there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what it is. I would even go to him sometimes and just ask him, "Do you think I should, you know, do such or such?" And he gonna tell me just like it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll
ain't
always
gonna pull no punches.
Ain't gonna pull no punches. Yeah, that's my brother. There's no doubt about
that's
that.
How I am with my
Tanisha
kids.
Evans said, "Love him and miss him so much. He was definitely an angel here on earth." Yeah, niece. Absolutely. Hey, Chanel.
You know, you just gotta be.
Mary said he showed up when my cousin was shot and killed and was ready to march. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. That's what he did. And just to know where he came from, though, you know what I mean, and how he just changed his life around to the care of God, man. Yeah. He was always inspiring to me. You know what I mean? Always inspiring to me. Hey, Wakila. You know, he's everybody from the Bennett.
Listen, my word with my wife.
For little Bayard Jr.
my siblings and them was like, "Well, who is Junior?" I was like, "Cause you know his name's Calvin." I'm like, "Well, you know." I said, "Well, I mean, I might not be the junior, but it wouldn't be nobody else, you know." So you can say what you want. I mean, ain't no another name Bayard coming out of this line.
Right.
So,
that's right.
But I was going to say, one thing with my wife that we're doing now is my word for the year is intentional. Everything that I do now and everything that she do, we're making it intentional.
Go ahead.
Because we want to make sure that we stay in line, not just with our marriage, but with God.
Go ahead.
So every step that we take, we want to make sure it's intentional. We set the pace, and we like, okay, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. So I'm just saying, encourage people like to be intentional with whatever you do. Like if you want to come off of drugs, be intentional with it. You know, if you want to, you know, change your life, be intentional with it. You can't half-step nothing no more. You have to be intentional about what
you got to go in all the way.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the way,
then somebody out here that'll help you. You figure out a prayer.
You can't have the pride up to say, "Nah, I ain't going up, I ain't going to church, I ain't going to that AA meeting or that NA meeting. I'm not doing all of that." Yeah. You're gonna have to think above that.
Yes. One of my friends at 40-something years old was asking me, "How do they pray?"
I said, ask that question though, Bayard. When I
said you just ask. I said you just talk to God. I said I talk to God like He's my best friend.
I do now,
yeah,
and understand it. I do now, but when I was out there and I was hurting, I was down, I hit my rock bottom. You know, out there in them streets, and I'm blaming God for everything that was happening to me because I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? I grew up with God. I went to church every Sunday when I was little. On the choir, can't sing, none of that. You know what I mean? But that's what mothers made us do. You know, but when I chose society, the streets, and got out there on my own, I didn't even think about God.
Yeah.
God didn't exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from a little girl, when I used to pray, my prayers wasn't answered. Because everything that was being done and was going on was still going on and being done. So I had no faith in Him yet. You know what I mean? I hadn't yet got to know Him for me. You know, and it took me to hit rock bottom in order to even find that. You know what I mean? And again, my cousin LeVert Todd, John Reed, and Doc Watson, and my sister Cheryl, they all talked to me about what prayer is. You know what I mean? And I said I would try it.
Yeah.
And they stayed behind me with it. And when I stopped being mad, stopped being angry, stopped being stubborn, you know what I mean? And opened up, trying to open up, you know, to feel God. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't feel him, so my back was turned towards him. You know what I mean? But when they taught me that, and they were praying with me the whole time that I was in that rehab, you know, like every day had gotten better and better. You know, by the time I left that rehab, I was saying, thank you, God. You know what I'm saying? Because I still had them helping me help me. You follow what I'm saying? But they said I couldn't do it without God first.
Yeah.
And then I was introduced to the 12 steps. Yeah. That led me, you know, the rest of the way, you know, all the way up into today. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, I didn't know how to pray either. Because prayer didn't do anything for me. Yeah, I mean, you know, but today
it takes time.
I promise y'all, you just gotta pray. And you gotta wait and find patience for the prayer to be answered. Absolutely.
The first thing I told him when he said that he didn't know how to pray, I said, man, just say thank you. Yeah. Just start with thank you. Yeah. And then it'll gradually grow into the next steps of your life. Because your thankfulness, and then your gratefulness, and then you turn around, and then now you start praying for things that become better in your life. And, you know, because one thing I believe in is that prayer works.
I tell you, it'll heal you, it'll motivate you, it'll empower you, and it will restore you. Yeah. It is no ifs and buts about that. It is no ifs and buts about that. You know, and some people that don't know, they just don't know. Yeah. You know, because a lot of the younger generations, including starting with mine, we didn't have our kids praying like our mothers did. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of that fell off generational.
But that's the sad part, though. Because, see, nowadays, you hear the younger generation saying, oh, well, I'm going to leave it to them to figure out who God is. But that's doing a disservice. Because if your child wakes up and says, I want to eat pizza every day, you're going to tell them, no, you have to eat this. So why we're not being intentional when it comes to them believing in God? Yeah. You know, because you have to give it to them. You have to tell them about the power of God. We didn't get to where we get. We didn't buy this house because by chicks or, you know, by hook or crook.
Sure did.
We worked hard and got here, and God carried us every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
So therefore, for us to maintain this.
I never thought I could buy a house.
Man, listen, I didn't think I wanted to buy a house.
I never thought I could buy one.
Listen, for 42 years, my address has always been, no, I'm going to say not 42. For 30-something years, my address has always been 29 West 8th Street. No matter where I lived at. All my mail went to my dad's house.
His dad's house.
Because that's where I knew that it was going to go, and I could always pick it up no matter where I lived at. Because if I lived with somebody else and they told me, oh, get out, then I know that my mail was going to be safe going over there to 29. So then once I bought my house, and I went to the post office and said, yo, change my address. And that's when I was like, what? Listen, my sister still say, oh, you still got mail coming. I told him to change it. You know, but sometimes with anything, change comes in time. Yes, so it'll start dwindling down so there's no more any letters coming there that belong with my name on it. And I'm cool with that, you know, but it took me a period of time to get to that point as to when I recognized, like, listen, first of all, why am I living with somebody else anyway? I'm a grown man. I should have my own.
Coretta Kendrick said, train up a child in the way that they shall go, and when they are old, they won't depart.
Yeah. Amen. 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 And that's how it is. But this generation now is not teaching their kids about God. And so they're not going to know where to find that strength from.
Womack Mills said, talk, bro. I'm listening.
That's my sister. That's one of the Bay Eye kids, kids right there. One of the twins, you know. But yeah, that's how it is. You got to teach your kids about God. They ain't gonna, where are you going to get your strength from?
Gotta teach
every day you get up. And life's hitting you. Where are you going to draw your strength from? Yeah. You have to draw it from God. You have to go seeking God.
When you look at it, because our kids, I'm going to say our kids in the generation of you all, started having kids so young. You know, so a lot of them is growing up with their kids, like they sisters and brothers, and can't handle them because they're not, they're just not there yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if they don't have that godly in them, the kids is not going to get it. Yeah. Unless somebody else picks them up. And God makes that happen. You know what I mean? But we've been lost with that for many years now, and in different generations, because at one point it wasn't nothing but going to church and all in my generation. But as generations went on, a lot of things was thrown in the game, you know what I mean, and turned our ways and our wills away from that. And a lot of us lost it for a while. Yeah. Even if we have it back now, some of the things that we were out there doing show that we didn't, you know what I mean? That was put to the side, even if it was temporarily, but today, we're finding it, and we have God back in our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Faith the size of a mustard seed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that just means that leaves room to grow.
Yeah, and I don't have no shame in my game to say that. You know what I mean? Because it was years that I didn't care. You know what I mean about God, because I never felt Him. The way that I feel Him now. You know what I mean?
One of the worst things that people do when they tell you not to question God.
Yeah, and that's
how if I'm going through something, how can I not question God? Because He's going to provide the answer.
That's right.
So if I'm going through something, I have to seek the answer.
I feel that same way too.
Yeah. So I have to be able to, why God, why this, why that, and then in certain times, this is going to hit you. The answer is going to be right there. Yeah. God going to send that person or whatever. He's going to send it. Yeah, and He says He will send a comforter.
And when I put that to test for me is when my son was killed. When Salim got killed, and my mom and it was just like my aunt, my godson, my aunt, my sister, my godson, my son, then my mom, then my aunt. Again, godmom. And it just went over my head like a dark, dark cloud. They were just like, all that in 5 months. All that in 5 months. And I just asked God, what is it? What tests are you putting me through?
What do you want me to do?
And it was like, you don't question God. Well, I have to, because I have a conscious contact with God. That's the part I don't get. I have a conscious contact with God, and He answers my prayers. He answers my questions. You know what I'm saying? I don't go at Him like, God, why you do that? I asked Him, what is this? What am I to do?
Where you want me at?
Yeah, I'm
Order
fighting
my
this.
Steps. Put me
I'm fighting this sickness, and I didn't want to get high, but my thinking was changing. You know what I'm saying? Disease had my thinking changing. That the subconscious mind, Trey was trying to get out on me. You know what I mean? And just make me forget about all that I've done and meeting God. You know what I mean? And serving God. It was rough. Yeah. It was rough. Even when I had a smile on my face. You know what I mean? Or years went by. It's still rough. Yeah. To this day. Yeah. Yeah. To this very day.
Listen, God removes things in His timing.
But I'm all right though.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I know He answers, because He removed a lot of that pain. You know what I mean? Yeah. He just removed it piece by piece. And all I had to do was wait to see what He was going to do and what His answer is, and I got it clearly. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got it clearly.
When my dad passed, several months after that, one of my dear childhood friends passed. Then my aunt passed. Then my uncle passed. That was, and then coming to the new year, then my other uncle passed. It was a rough year of going through it. But I couldn't properly give nobody else mourning, because I was still mourning the loss of my dad. Right. So when I was going through that, and the dark space that put me in, only one could bring me out of that was God.
Was God.
Was God. You see the people that try to stand there and they come just to be newsy.
Sometimes people don't even know what to say. It's the same old routine.
I'll
be there for you. I ain't seen none of them people. Yeah. I haven't seen none of them people, but it's okay, because God stuck with me.
Oh, without question.
You know what I mean? And I knew that much. Yeah. I definitely knew that much. And that's what pulled me through it all, and still pulling me through it. Yeah. I get times where I just start
tears
going through stuff, and missing my
Yeah.
You know, and I guess that's meant to be. I was just telling my daughter-in-law, Sonia Tyson, that's she's like my daughter, and Mom Faye, her mom just passed. Then my bestie, like I was telling you, one of my besties in recovery that I love very much, John Reed, just passed. Then one of my besties, my friend Tony, just passed. You hear what I'm saying? It's just like just going over and over, and I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm sad, but I'm okay because I know where they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what helps me is I can't do funerals like that since that storm that was over me with my loved ones. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
And people don't see you. That's what I'm talking about with you. People don't see me going to all these funerals because I can't. You understand? But what I have in them, my friendship, my love, my heart, is in here. I'd rather think of the good of all of them than watching them in a coffin. It's sad to me.
Remember where they once was.
No, I don't
That's
want
that
that.
beautiful smile.
I don't want to dream and remember that. I want to keep the love that I have in my heart. That's what heals my heart with that. You know what I mean? And God showed me the way.
Everybody deals with grief.
Yeah, He shows me the way. Yeah, grief is something that
grief is a long time.
Grief is a long time.
It has no end.
Grief is a long time. Yes, it is.
Only time for some people, grief only comes when death comes.
Hey.
You know.
Hey.
So you have to learn how to deal with it and manage it. You know, because there have been times where I woke up still crying.
You and me both.
And you know, because you miss that person so much.
Just miss them.
You know, and you wonder how life would be with them, and
if they were still
here. And, you know, and there's different phases when you depending on a loved one that you lost. But when you sit up there and like with me losing a parent, you know, that was so influential in my life, it hurt because I'm like, well, Dad, what would you do in this situation? You know, you've been here. How would you have handled this? But then I realized that He already gave me the tools a long time ago when He introduced me to Christ.
Go ahead.
So once He introduced me to that, He said, all I got to do is just pick up and read my Bible and I'm good.
Go ahead.
You know, but I put my faith in God and He going to answer every question I need to be answered. So when people don't understand certain things, all it is to tap into your faith. You know, God gonna give you, He gonna send that comforter to you that you need at the time that you need it. And it don't say it don't be a night, it could be the morning, it could be whenever, it could be 6 months, a year, 10 years from now. But that one day that comforter, I believe that comforter will come.
That's right.
And when it comes, then you just have to accept it. Don't keep pushing people away. Because no, God sent them there for you.
That's right.
You know, everybody doesn't come to take something from you. Some people really come to help you and to encourage you. That's you know, right. we live in a community where we used to takers.
Go ahead.
Know, and you have to stop dealing with the people that's always taking and start dealing with the people that's trying to help.
That's right.
Them the ones that makes the city a lot better. The ones that's trying to help, that's really genuinely trying to help and not help themselves. So I look at people, not everybody can't pray for me. I'm sorry, you just can't. You can't. So come think you're going to anoint me and put your hands on me. No, because I don't know if you're coming to pray on me or to put something in me. I don't know. So I know I can pray for myself. You never see me post on Facebook to pray for me. I don't. Because I know I have the same phone line that anybody else has out here. I can call God whenever I want to. When I wake up in the morning, I say thank you. I'm riding in my car, I'm thankful. Whatever the case may be. So you just have to learn how to tap into that same phone line. It's right there whenever you want it. Just pick it up and say thank you.
Yeah, I'm there too. You know, but I've been asking lately to learn in the Bible more.
Yeah.
You know, I know it, but I don't know it. You know what I mean? I can't recite nothing from it unless you show me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at hands-on, not, you know, getting into it. And I'm looking forward to doing that. You know what I mean? I just been talking to some people about it. You know what I mean? And the Quran. You know what I'm saying? So, I had both these things in me. You know, the Holy Quran and Allah and Jesus Christ, and I'm finding out that they are pretty much in the same stories. You know what I'm saying? But it's to each his own. My thing is, for me, that I chose really not to pick like that, because I've learned that I have a conscious contact with God. And God is doing for me what he's doing for everybody else. Mm-hmm. That he's pressing and he's watching. You know, we all are his children. And he's a forgiving God. You know what I mean? He's never going, merciful. Mm-hmm. He's never going to close the door on you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for me, I look at things sometimes, I get real deep into it too. And I be like, it be a lot of stuff in them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes I can't figure out what makes sense and what don't make sense.
So what I try to do when I read, I try to see where it fits in my life.
That's what I do. Yeah.
And when you see, when you start reading, and you like, okay, well, that's what they did this back before Christ or whatever the case may be, then how can I apply that to today? You know, and it's just being conscious of my actions, you know, and trusting that my steps are being ordered by God, and it just started making sense. Everything started working out. Like, I never, force somebody to do anything, mm-hmm. but I encourage them, you know, because you want to encourage yourself, or somebody encourage you, because there's nothing like somebody help you along the way to get to the road you need to get to. Mm-hmm. Any corner like people like, oh, I want to be a millionaire. Then God, now say you pray for God, and he said, all right, I'm gonna let you hit that Powerball. Mm-hmm. You're gonna forget all about God. You know, but like I remember I broke this down to somebody. I said, well, I'd rather take $1 million or get a job where I make enough money a year and I can live comfortably for the rest of my life. Mm. And people are like, oh man, I'm taking $1 million because I know what to do with it. But then what about when $1 million run out? Mm-hmm. But I got a comfortable job where I make a great living. Mm-hmm. And everything that my wants and needs are taken care of. Yep. Great benefits. You know, because the older you get, you want them benefits. It's about them benefits, though.
We ain't gonna talk about them benefits. I mean, that's a whole nother daggone episode. But they set you up.
Listen.
Benefits is not good. Benefits is tampered with, messed with, tore up, taken. You know what I mean?
Not that medical we got.
Give me $1 million. I'm going after the $1 million. I ain't gonna change my world, but I know I'm gonna be safe. Because look, what Social Security do is off the chain. Yeah. It was made for them to never to lose. The way they made this United States mm-hmm. is that those crooks will never lose. They're gonna always win it, like a big ass casino. Excuse the expression. You know what I mean? By me going through things that I'm going through now. Now I am a senior citizen. Now I do depend on my Social Security. It ain't nothing like they was sending them letters.
They were setting you up.
They're setting you up with all that mess. You know what I mean? And you still like I had to. And I had to go back to work too. And the benefits, let me tell you, you pay for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. You know, so if I get to win $1 million, I'm gonna be the happiest person in my life. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the happiest person. Like, at least I'm smart enough today, and I'm blessed, and I got God in my life that I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least I'm going to say that today. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about this crazy behind disease. It's really going to try to haunt me and break me down. But today, I'm safe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But give me that $1 million, I'm going for it.
You're going for it. See, I'm still young, and I count the benefits because I look at my kids, and when they need something medical, I remember my daughter had to go in the hospital for a week, and it cost they sent the bill home, it's $22,000. Mm-hmm. I had to pay $35.
Yeah, well, but I'm still saying, like, even with the benefits, sometimes we gotta pay too.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, she said my wife saying it was when we went to do our taxes last year. They showed it what I pay into our benefits a year.
Yeah, we got to pay. And look, they got this thing wrapped up so good.
Oh yeah,
for them. Yeah, you know, to grow, but not for us to win. They winning. You know what I mean? That's
because we in our own way.
Hey.
We got to get our own way.
We got to get out.
We got to start.
That's why I'm saying, with these drugs and these alcohol and partying and not paying attention, putting more into that street life, into all that life, we got to listen to what they're doing and what they're saying on this TV. They laugh at us. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. They laugh at us. You know, and today that's just where I've grown to. I'm trying to pay attention. You know what I mean? But living with this Social Security thing and how they made so many changes with it ain't nothing but a ripoff. It's like a live, living, modern slave. That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? And we bronze by the Social Security number. Believe that. You know, it's rough. So anybody who's thinking about it at 62, hey, look, you're going to get the same thing at 70. It ain't going to make a difference. You know what I mean? So be wise, you know, and know what you're doing before you do it. You know, and don't listen to people. Go in there.
Yeah, do your own homework.
Go in there. Do your own homework and not on a computer or the phone. Go talk to people.
It is so, the computer, these phones is so misleading.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how this AI stuff is even allowed to exist. Because they can literally just take your whole image and then say you committed a crime and people's going to believe it.
And if anybody, just real quick, got them high electric bills, off the hinges.
Man.
Off the hinges. Unbelievable. Pay attention, everybody. They just doing what they want to do. And I think it all comes from these different other countries that we get all this solar and all this other stuff from. You know what I mean? It's tearing us up. That's all I got to say. But I am so proud of my brother, my son, my help, my delivery man, all that. You know what I mean? All I got to do is just phone calling. Bang. I need this. Bang. I need that. Bang. I need this. And he is right there. He is right there. He has a heart of gold, you know, and the love and the respect that he gives me, he definitely gets it back in return. You know what I mean? And it's just a God's gift. That's how I look at it. And to see how he's changed in his life from then till now, then doesn't even exist no more, because I look at you for who you are now. You know, because I have a background and a past too, and I look past that. I look at how strong you become. You know what I mean? And like you said, you know, God comes first. You know, and that's the holy part of it. That's the Holy Spirit there. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate everybody for coming on and sharing this time and moment with me and Bayat. If anybody wants to send stars, I appreciate it if you do. If you want to send a donation to Living in My Truth, my Cash App is also on here, and I would appreciate that. It doesn't matter how much you send. It could be $1, don't make me a difference, but it all goes towards what we're doing. You know what I mean? And Living in My Truth is coming up with the LMT Award in June. You know, and is everyone who sits on this couch will be honored. Everyone that sits on this couch. And some of you that even comes on here faithfully and all the time. I haven't forgot about you either. You know what I mean? So this is why I ask for sponsors and donations, you know, to help make this thing go, you know, and exist. You know, because I don't want to stop it. You know, from the first when they asked me not to, it was such a blessing. You were there. You came up. You know what I mean? And it was beautiful. You know, so we're going to try to continue it on, you know, and still get some people in and try to still help the sick and suffering, you know, out loud. You know what I mean? And the ones of us who made changes in our lives, you know, from the devil's advocate to God's will. Amen. You know what I mean? That's all a part of this too. You know, and again, I do have some very good guests that's going to come on and sit on this couch, y'all, that's coming up for you. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep on trying to do it the best I can. And if anybody out there right now that wants to come and sit on this couch, all you have to do is inbox me. That's it. You know what I mean? And we're going to get it in. And we can also come on by video. So I want you guys to know that too. If you can't make it to the couch, we can come on by video. That's just as well. You know what I mean? It's just not on the couch. But we definitely can get it in by video. So I know it's about that time, y'all. I'm going to send you some hearts because I appreciate each and every one of y'all that has come on here. And especially my brother, my son, you know, that's sitting here with me. And if you all can just push the share button, you know, after you get off here, I would appreciate that very much because that helps people, you know what I mean, to get to see this, you know, and get some good information and education on not just recovery, but on change in life, period, you know, and finding that higher power for yourself greater than yourself, you know. So I appreciate y'all again. I will be on Wednesday, you know, and we're going to get it in some more, you know, because I got a lot to get in and get out, you know what I'm saying? You know, so come back on. For the ones of you that came on, just for back. You know what I mean? Tune back in. This thing is on every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. You know, Tracy Allen, Living in My Truth. Come on in. We got a lot to talk about. You know, so I'll be seeing you guys then. I'm going to close it with serenity prayer, if you don't mind. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not ours. So I'll see you guys Wednesday. Thank you, thank you, thank you.